Are you feeling stuck as a content creator? Well, I'm a Swiftie. Doc's a Swiftie. Maybe you're a Swiftie, but no matter where you stand, there's definitely things that you, me, all of us as content creators can learn from Taylor Swift.
Dun, dun, dun. Welcome to another edition of Creators
Unstuck.
One of these days, I'll tell you, one of these days we'll get that right. Hold on, I gotta move my notes over here. Here we go. All right, so I don't know why my screen was being funny to me at that particular time, but yeah, let's get into it. Like, I'm super curious because I think this is a good topic. And when you first broached it to me, I kind of laughed a little bit, but it's actually serious, right? This is definitely something that can really help out. So today, this episode, people, was tailor-made. No, today we're going to talk about what we can learn from our popular people in pop culture, because technically we are creating stuff. And if it happens all right for you, the stars all line up and stuff, you potentially run up on the same thing where you become really, really popular. You need to be ready for it and know what to do. As a matter of fact, I think one of the biggest downfalls that a lot of people who gain stardom don't do is plan for what happens if this works, right? Now, I don't want to sound crazy or get all woo-woo on you. Those of you who believe in manifesting, let's call it that. Those of you who believe in praying, let's call it that. Those of you who just believe in setting the intention and doing the dang work and getting it done, let's call it we're friends, okay? So you should set that intention now. So go ahead and start thinking to yourself, what happens if this works? What does this look like? So we know that it definitely worked for Tay Tay. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. All right, Lou, you started this mess.
Let's talk about it. Yes. So if you are here watching Creators Unstuck, maybe you're a creator that has been feeling in a rut. You are not sure what to do next. Maybe you know what you're doing. You just want to be part of the community here. We are here to empower diverse creators to get things going in their content creation and actually make some things happen. So we're here to get you there. And I hope that you join us in the community because, I don't know, we're having a great time over here. So
yeah, we do.
Creators Unstuck, when I was thinking about what are we going to talk today, as the recording this, it is August 1st, which is a special day in Swiftyverse because there's a song called August. And it just like got me thinking because I'm like listening to her music and I was like, this is actually a big deal when you can relate it to us as content creators, because it's very easy for us to feel like, well, I'm just a content creator, but you could be just a singer. You could be just a Michelin star chef. Like that's just a word.
Singers are creators. And I was also going to say that chefs are also creators.
Yes.
I think a lot of people take creators and just attach it to YouTuber or podcaster or, not even to writers anymore, which is funny because they started this whole thing, right? So I think that all types of folks are all types of creators, including my favorite, those who just create excuses.
It's still creating.
Still creating.
Still creating. So I wanted to get into what we can actually learn from our favorite artists, because if we look at things in a really big sense, then we can apply it to us as well. Because like Doc said, what if it does work? Want you to be ready. Want you to be ready.
I love this. I mean, it's got me thinking, like I'm really, really just buzzing in my head right now, thinking of all of the various creators who I know and love, and also like how that have touched so many different lives in so many ways, including myself. So I guess we like to start out this show's tradition around here, a whole tradition with a whole 3 episodes prior to this. That's a tradition around here. We're going to hit you with the question of the day. So today's question of the day is, who inspires you? Right? And I think it's important to take inventory of who inspires you, because even if you don't want to do exactly what they do, it does give you a model for how to turn around and inspire others. And if you can inspire others, that's kind of a big deal, right? So I know that it is a massive, massive, like a ball of Tinkerbell juice when somebody hits me in the comments and tell me that they're inspired. ever, let me drop a caveat on that real quick. The first time, it's a compliment. I'm a little happy. I get a little bump. The second time, I'm like, okay. The third time, now I'm starting to get mad at you. But here's why. If you constantly say you're inspired, but yet you're not actively doing anything that shows the inspiration, then I feel like you're just gassing me. And I don't need gas. I gas myself. Right? That's for the uninitiated. Mary Lou is West Coast. I'm East Coast. On East Coast, when you gassing somebody up, you just like, what's that stuff when you go to the dentist? Oh, you hit them with the nitrous
you're just like
oxide.
pumping their ego.
Yeah, you're just pumping their ego. Yeah, that's what gassing is. So I just want to make sure I cleared it up in case somebody be like listening to this, be like, I don't know what those American slang terms mean.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
So I have a saying in my community, like, you're allowed to say that you're inspired by something once or twice, but after that, I'm going to check you, because inspiration without perspiration is just aspiration, which leads to desperation. So don't be an ass. There you go.
Yeah. And I love that. Like, that's like my whole vibe is like, I want you to actually be doing things. Like, you can be inspired, but if you're not taking action, you're not actually inspired. Because the inspiration should be fuel to action, right? Where aspiration is, I want to be like something. It's something I would like to be, but inspiration is like, I am inspired to drive forward and make this happen. So I'm hoping that you get that from us, but it's also important with the artists that you follow to think outside of just other artists, like content creators that are doing things like you. Like if we're content creators, like, I like to look at like, what is Beyonce doing? Like, Beyonce's on another planet, but there's a lot that I get from that. And I'm like, yes, I would love to have people who come to my content and feel empowered and like walk away feeling like a bad bitch. And that's why I'm like, that's my thing now, where I'm like, listen, I'm a bad bitch, you're a bad bitch, let's be bad bitches. And they're like, okay, so looking outside of just content creators for your inspiration, whether it's novels, it could be characters, they could be, fictional characters, that like, your inspiration should be beyond the people who are doing the exact thing that you want. Correct. Because then you're not just a copy. Yes. You're pulling from all sorts of different places. So there's a lot that you can pick up.
All right. So who inspires you, Lou?
Who inspires me? Doc Rock. If we're going outside of content creators, but like, I say that, but I'm taking action. Yeah. You know this already.
I know this. And yes. it's fun. Listen, this is extremely hard. Okay. You and Eden say that, and I know you guys mean it. And it is extremely difficult, people. I want you to hear this clearly. It is extremely difficult to take a compliment, but I want you to note one thing I did not say. Oh, no, I don't. Okay, the reason why I don't say that, even though I might feel that, I don't let that come out. It is super dismissive to Lou, to Eden, or anybody else if I deflect their compliment. When someone pays you a compliment, just say thank you. Learn to be a good receiver. Constantly saying no, 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 no. Especially for certain type of folks, right? Thug life cats, it's hard for them to pay said compliment. So when you turn around and be like, oh, no, this is just a little something I threw on, you just took away their compliment. And some people, it's really hard for them to give compliments. So when someone compliments your ensemble, you be like, well, thank you. And just walk away. Don't say no. I learned that from my grandma. It is super hard to deal with. And yes, it flusters me when you guys say that, but I know that I shouldn't say no, because I am trying to do, this is what I'm here to do. Like, I put myself in the position to do that. And when someone says, hey, it's working, you can't turn around and be like, nah, man, nah, not it. Not it. But thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And it's completely true.
I was thinking of like celebrities when you said it, but it's true. Like, someone asked me, like, who do I look up to before? And I had to tell the story that I stopped because too many of the people who I thought were dope turn out to be a-holes. So I've learned to stop putting that in others. However, that doesn't mean you can't take something from someone that you completely despise. If they do one thing that you can find a way to work into your system because it's effective, that's fine, right? So there might be a political candidate that get on your nerves, but obviously they're doing something correct. You got to be able to look at what they're doing and how it's working and how you can make that work for you, but in a positive aspect. I'm always about the positive aspect. And I would say not even in the political arena. I am currently inspired by the vice president for the simple reason that something I talk about all the time. What's going to happen on your show when Oprah finds you and comes through and brings 1 million people to your channel? Because I hear y'all in the chat. Y'all be wishing for, I need 1 million subs, or I want 1 million subs. I want to get the gold play button, whatever. Okay, so Oprah comes to your show tomorrow, and she's going to bring 1 million people. What do you have to offer? Is the back catalog already there for them to binge on? No. Is there stickiness? Is there something that says, damn, these French fries are crack, I'll be back next week? No. Do you have a peach shake like, what you call that place, Chick-fil-A in Georgia? No. Do you have that unique selling proposition in place? I do not want Oprah to bring nobody to Creators Unstuck just yet. We're on episode 3, and I'm recording episode 4 today. Not yet. When we on episode 20, I'll be like, hey, Bill, yo, hit your boy up. Send him through. Send him through. Me and Lou is ready. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
Right? So the reason why I say I'm slightly inspired by her at the moment, Madam Vice President, is somebody pulled her chain and she was absolutely ready. There was no stuttering. There was no, but I got to check where, I got to get that. All the ducks was ready. She just went, bingo, let's go. Here we go, not going back. Freedom, freedom, not going back. She had
Megan Stallion, let's go.
The playbook was there. Now, granted, there's a whole staff, there's a whole bunch of people helping out or whatever, but you got to be ready when the call up comes at any given moment, right? I'm watching the NBA playoffs recently, and they called on Celtics guard. He comes off the bench. Homie steps on with 23 seconds left to go in the half. He inbounds the ball. He passes it. They pass it back to him. And from behind half court, he launches it. He shot it and walked off the court like he meant it. Come to find out, homie practices that shot all the time. Not just, coach knew what he was doing. When he brought P2 onto the deck, he knew exactly what he was doing because he knows this guy knows how to hit a shot from last week. So I just want to, that's my inspiration story. And what you can learn from even Madam Vice President is you got to be ready when somebody finally gives you that opportunity. Now you only got one shot. So I can put my hoodie on. Dun, 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 dun.
All right, Eminem.
Sorry. Palms are sweaty. I'm gonna stop.
Yes. And that's like with VP Harris, with Taylor Swift, the branding, right? The branding is there. It's consistent. It's visual and it's personal for both of them. So a lot of the artists, and I would even consider the campaign of VP Harris is artistry, right? So if you separate the individual, like we don't know these people on an individual level. So like I can't really judge them on that. But like I don't know Beyonce, but I know how her music makes me feel. So I can take from that, right? I don't know what she does on a day-to-day basis. That doesn't matter to me, right? So what can we take? The personal branding is clear. The visual identity is clear. And we're about to get our visual identity together because of the Pod Pack.
Yeah.
They're helping us out, getting our visuals together. Where are we at with that? Will we have that by this episode?
I don't know. I mean, hit up Marshall because he just sent me mine and I was just like, oh my God, they're so good. It's so
It's
good.
good.
So yeah,
Yeah,
I do.
but it's okay, but it's
I
on its
agree with you
way.
though, right? I 100% agree with you that again, you don't have to. I tell you what, I'm definitely hardcore Raiders fan, right? Nowhere near Patriots fan. But when they was on their dynasty kick, like what they were doing as a brand, as a team, even as individuals, as the coach, the whole 9 yards, yo, they set trends. They set absolute trends. So even though I was super anti Brady and anti Patriots, just being a Raiders fan, that's the way it works. You got to respect the game. You know what they say? Don't hate the player, hate the game. You got to respect the game in that aspect.
Yeah. So like with yours, right? Branding consistency for Doc Rock brand. We know visually purple, right? That's his jam.
Yes.
Personal branding, it's strength, it's knowledge, it's wisdom, it's experience, it's no nonsense. But that, regardless of whatever project he's doing, that personal branding is clear and consistent.
It's going to stay.
We're like, and that's how it's going to be.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of double talk for the simple reason of trying to protect someone's feelings. Listen, there's a huge difference between just hurting people's feelings just to be an a-hole, or look, I'm going to have to abrade your feelings a little bit so that you can understand the deeper meaning of things, right? I don't want to break you. I don't want to hurt your feelings because I'm trying to be a bully. I just want to take away the reason why you have a feeling that's not really yours, and how I can tell. I see how you move. I see how you operate. But then I hear your mouth say stuff that you think everybody wants to hear. So I'm like, okay, so this feeling is not necessarily yours, or I perceive is not necessarily yours because your actions don't match what you say. So what's happening is somebody has told you you aren't good enough. Somebody has told you that you're unimportant. Somebody has told you that you don't have a voice. And when I see you actually have a voice, oh, I'm going to come and drag you through that hole because I know I was that person. And I know the beast that was unleashed once I was able to shut up that internal talking. I also realized that those from our generation, we were just misprogrammed. We were misprogrammed out of pure love, but we were misprogrammed. And I think the craziest thing we do right now is look at the young ones and be like, oh, y'all are soft and y'all are weak. Nah, man, they are the product of what they came up with. They don't have the experience yet for those rough edges. You know what I'm saying? When you first get that brand new wool shirt, it's dope, it's smooth, it's soft, it feels all good. After a couple wears, it gets pilly. We're the pilly one. They still smooth. You know what I mean? It's not your job to go pill them up. It is your job to give them the guiding principles so that they can find their own pills, their own scratches, their own scars. So when we come through, and I might be thuggish at times, I'm trying to help you scar up because that will make you a better creator. I'm not just doing it to be that,
yeah,
abrasive.
And then that brings me to the point of personal branding being actually you and something rooted in your reality, because I think the instinct for people is to create a personal identity, branded identity. And that is just a recipe for disaster, because I mean, tell you, it is so much harder to keep up a character than to just highlight parts of yourself that already exist in our world. Like if you're an actor, you're an actor. That's a different game. That is a whole different
even for an actor though. Hey,
it's hard.
It is.
And they're just doing that with gig per gig.
It is a deep, deep feeling of mine that one of the dudes that I know, if we were side by side, I could have sat down and talked to homie for 3-4 hours and we wouldn't have noticed it was 20 minutes. I was deeply in love with Heath Ledger. Not because he was fine, I'm not that dude, but I just felt he was an amazing actor. That dude took his character so seriously that it actually killed him. I think what caused him to lose it is he went too deep into the dark character and he actually absorbed it so hard. He had a character fraction Similar to what's the movie James McAvoy? Split, Glass, in there's 3-piece. There's Split, there's Glass, and then there's one more. Man, I can't believe I forgot. But that fracturing of your personality, I think that really happened to Heath. I think he completely lost it. I think the same thing happened to John Belushi. Like, they lost their identity being somebody else for so long that they lost the who them is, right? Who them is. That English, bro, is good, bro.
And I say, like, that's like a fortunate lesson I got to learn early in my career as an artist, because when I was in college, I was doing acting and I was in plays and those things like that. And there was one dramatic play that I was in that when we were in that production, I got messed up for like months after that because it just like it ate me alive. And that's when I realized I was like, I can't be an actor like that. But I can be me. I still want to be on camera. I still have things to share. I still have my version of art to share. But I did realize, fortunately, very early, I was like, ooh, I am not built for that, because you have to have really strong walls. Now, you can create personalities, right? And then they can take over. And then like, that's a whole different monster. But I'm telling you, just so much easier, even as actors, to take parts of yourself to put into the characters. Because like, why are you working so hard?
Yeah. And I mean, man, I think of Spotless Mind, such a fantastic movie, and that almost broke Jim Carrey. Like that was, and was weird to us. That was most of our first chance to see him not steady clowning. Like he was, that was a deep one, right? Oh, another person who I feel that got too deep into their story was Philip Seymour Hoffman. Absolute beast. Absolute beast. Thespian like no other. And, lost too early because I think he took it too hard. So yeah, definitely when you're doing your personal brand, this has come up a lot recently, and I heard it again yesterday, and I wanted to send you that segment. So I got to find it and send it to you. But somebody had brought up the whole concept of authenticity to Seth again. And Seth was like, no, stop saying that. First of all, it's an overused word, and your audience doesn't want you to be authentic. Your audience wants you to be consistent. And I thought that was dope, because what they're looking for is looking for you to be the best you are at any given moment. And authentically, you cannot be on 24/7. You definitely have some little days where you just like, somebody say something, I'm gonna knock you out. You're not always
I had almost a moment like that today.
Right. So in that moment though, right, we have the vulnerability to show up to our audiences and say, hey, gang, you know what? I'm just having a day. Can we just chat? And they're like, cool, I got you. But other people can't do that because their audience is expecting, it's not that they're being performative. Their audience is expecting them to show up and be professional. I tell you who I don't want to have a day like Lou had today, my surgeon. I need my surgeon to be authentically that dude who kicked ass in Harvard with the knife and could get in there and like move some stuff around and put it back. And then, make my nose small like Michael Jackson. I'm joking. So, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody wants their surgeon to be authentic. You don't want your pilot to be authentic if he had a fight with his wife that day. I need him to land this 737 on the ground in Fukuoka, solidly, soft, smooth, so I can get to my ramen and sushi.
Right. Yeah. And that's where like the vulnerability can be part of your personal brand because we're creators, right? Vulnerability, not part of the brand of our doctor, like of our surgeon, like there's places for that. But because what we're doing, vulnerability plays into personal branding, like we go back to Taylor Swift, her whole catalog is her diary, but she had craft behind it and was able to tell a good story. So you can take your personality, you can take your vulnerability, your history, but now what can you do with it?
I like how you almost choked on the word vulnerability, but you caught it. It was so smooth. Nobody would notice it, but now that I brought it up, they're going to rewind and they're going to hear vulnerability.
I've been talking on camera a long time.
I'm evil. I'm sorry. Okay, I do that all the time, bro, and I just roll with it. So I got one, though. I have a question for you. This is funny because we're here to help you therapy, but now I have a question for Lou because I'm a curious individual, and that's part of my personal brand, too. My question is always, why? What is your take? and I don't want to be evil, and I don't want to say that it's fake crying on camera because I don't necessarily know if that's true. But what is your take on people that come and cry on camera because I feel like they're being performative or they know what they're going to get on those videos? Have you ever seen any of those?
Oh, like creators. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, where are we crying on
like
camera?
three, and you probably seen those videos because we're in the same level of curiosity. But these are like top creators, you know, 1 million something subs, and all of a sudden they haven't seen no videos for a couple of days, and then they come out
fishing.
And they say, you know, I just wanted to tell y'all a little story. And it could be about something kind of deep, normally not. It's normally a little shallow. And then they go into full crying. And then here's why I get bothered by this. At the end of the crying, you know, sometimes you just gotta let your vulnerability out. And I find that one of my creative outlets is writing. And so that's why I use Squarespace.
Like then the sponsorship comes out, right? Then.
I'm like, bruh. Like that video could have been a not sponsored video. I've totally seen where they cry and then the ad is there, right? I've seen other ones where they cry and it's like, this is not going to be monetized. I'm not even going to put the monetization switch on it. I turned off comments. I just wanted to come and tell you what's going on. I might believe that one. But I have seen, and it's been mostly female creators, but not exclusively. I've seen some dudes come and do the dude version of crying on camera. And I'm like, bruh, now the reason why it bothered me is I saw one of them do it. She's very, very famous. Back in the days when you were to say this person's a top YouTuber, name would just pop up, right? And that person did it. And I saw a whole bunch of her, what I would call, what's a good word? We need to come up with a word for YouTube clones. And they went right behind her and did it. And I was just like,
but we see that still all the time, right?
Mess. Yes. Oh, I'm quitting.
Where there's like, then everybody was quitting. I was like, no, they're not. All those people still posting videos anyway.
Every single one of them still posting videos. I ain't seen not one of them totally quit yet. Totally do party like a rock star. Sorry, that's my
now
personal
vulnerability, right? So then there's a way to craft your vulnerability. Now, like I'll say, I was like, I had a rough week, and I was on a stream. My stream earlier in the week, I did like tear up, but like I pulled it back, right? Because I was like, okay, like, but that was not because I came on to cry, right? There's the people who are like, this is the show today. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna get vulnerable, right? I'm gonna share something. I'm going to be authentic. But what's the story that you're crafting? Or are you fishing for attention? Now, if I look at, we go back to Taylor Swift with her storytelling, with her stuff. She might get emotional about some stuff, but like she's not going on to sing these heartbreak songs for you to be like, oh, poor Taylor. It's for you to connect and be like, I went through this. You also went through this. Like there's a difference. There's a difference when like I'm crying, feel bad for me, make me feel better. Or there's, I went through this and I'm sharing this. So, if you're going through this, this is a human experience. Like sharing a human experience and fishing for attention, different things.
Gangster. All right, so then you talked a little bit about narrative crafting. I fully understand what that means. I don't know, because I didn't do it on purpose, but maybe I have crafted a narrative. But because I didn't do it on purpose, I don't know what it is for me.
Okay, so
do I have a narrative?
Like, there is one, like, so if you haven't like on purpose crafted it for like your personal brand, that it's there, but we can talk about that in a second. The narrative crafting is storytelling as far as like our run of show is a narrative that has been crafted.
All right, gangster. All right.
Right?
Yeah.
Our purpose of this show is a narrative that we have crafted. We're not just like, we're creators, we're sad, we all go through trouble. Like we've crafted this with the community. Now with your
it wasn't
personal
come cry
brand,
with us. It was like, okay, you're crying, come over here, and then we're gonna help you uncry.
Yes, let's like grab the tissues, but also do some things. Let's get to work.
Yeah, don't blow your nose in your shirt. That's nasty.
You know, so like with personal branding, that's like a whole different game where I think that is a little bit more natural and choosing what you share, right? So I have tons of other hobbies that people don't know, like that's not part of my personal brand. So that is part of the craft. The omission is part of the craft as well.
Dude, you know who's so good at this? I got to give her flowers. My homegirl, Nikki Saunders. She is so good at this. Nikki is on 24/7. Like every time you turn on your IG, Nikki is live. Hey y'all, what's up? She gonna kill me. She gonna kill me. What's popping? What's popping? What's popping? Look, sorry, Nikki, I love you. But yeah, Nikki, she was like, look, I'm gonna give you all the game. I'm gonna be here 24/7. I'm gonna tell you all, but you don't know nothing about her personal life. Me and Nikki are tight. And there's certain things I didn't know until she was ready to share that. And I appreciate that game because so many people will tell you that that's impossible. And I'm like, nah, fam, you wrong. I was in a group with like 150 people and they were like saying that's impossible. And that's why this person's holding back from creating because they don't want to let it all out. And I'm like, that, my friends, is what you called a gold level VIP XXL super fine excuse. Because I know somebody who creates 24/7, 368 on leap year, and you don't know nothing about her business.
Yeah.
So
same as like our friend Sabrina, right? Like Sabrina, she's very clear. She's like, you are not seeing me post if it is not related to the mission at hand.
Straight.
You know, but like she's there, she's doing it. There is a connection with the audience. There's an emotional connection. There is a personal brand. There is a visual identity. All of these things exist. We don't know. I don't think we know anything. Like, I don't know if she's vegan. I don't know. Like, I don't know what her skincare is. Like, because it's not relevant to her.
It's
but
not relevant.
As far as
you
like
know what I'm saying?
An audience member.
Even we had that conversation. When we went to dinner, we had that conversation, right? Like we were together and we were, you know, I took them out for sushi because her and the peeps came. And I was like, man, this is dope. Like, this is so dope. And what's really funny is I think people would appreciate the gangster if she decides to let it out. But it's not my story to tell. And yo, she's bomb. She's extremely bomb. She knows what she wants. She doesn't deviate from the mission. She's not trying to chase nobody, not trying to be nobody, not trying to follow nobody. She has a very cut out mission and she works on it. And then she called me all the time. Hey, I'm stuck. I need to do XYZ. All right, got it. She's like, thank you. Back to work. Like, our conversations are good. Our conversations are quick. They're 100 miles an hour because we're the same. But I think it's so funny that this is going to sound really weird. And I don't want to overstep a boundary, but I think it's really crazy to me because, again, I have a hard time with compliments. Somebody who, if you listen to creators and the numbers, right? Somebody with 250,000 subs on one channel, another 500,000 on another channel, and very big in their thing, comes to me with 20,000 for all of these advices, right? Because that's not how the industry works, bro. Like, game recognized game. She knows I know what I'm talking about. So I'll get that once a week call. All right, Sensei, what next? You know what I mean? Bill Belichick ain't never threw a touchdown. Tom Brady threw a whole bunch of them. Just end of that story. I'm sorry.
You called the right person.
You know what I'm saying? I love her to death, though. She's my people.
I have been following, like, since we met her on our brand trip a couple months ago, and I know what she doesn't share. And then recently she shared something a little personal, and like, as someone who's like kind of a fan, and I'm just like, oh my God, it's like the excitement. So that's the next thing that we can talk about is this like fan interaction and these mystery things, which I think is something that Taylor does beautifully. But first I need to know a little nugget from you, your pick of the week.
Oh man, girl is getting dope with her little her little segues. Okay, I see you, Lou. Okay, so
I'm not new at this.
I know, that's why it's so good. Like, yo, it's so great. All right, I got a crazy pick of the week for you. This one is going to be amazing for creators. So I got this one from a home dog, Caleb. Caleb hits me up and they were like, yo, they just came back from a ConvertKit conference and they were like, ConvertKit has been building this thing called a ConvertKit app store. In their app store, there's an app called Wordsmith, right? It is crazy. It's the wordsmith.app. That is the link you want to go to. But there are lots of AI tools out there that can do blog posts for you and YouTube tweets and all these other type of things, or tweets, X tweets, whatever you call it. This thing basically takes your YouTube video and crafts your email. Why this is important? Because you need to start your email list out the gate. I started my email list again after I jacked up the other one, but I started again in January and I'm only here at August 1st and I'm at like 700 people on the list already. And so like you can grow your list mad quick, but what happens is you need to craft these videos. You need to craft these emails. So if you make a video and then you give it to the wordsmith, it basically writes your email for you based off the contents of that video. And it's a game changer because that's one less email you have to think about. And yes, it's not the same as running it. I really compare it. It's not the same as running it through ChatGPT or Claude or some other thing like that. Like it is kind of built on Claude, but they've massaged it to get that good. Like oh my God, it's glorious. It's glorious. I'm gonna stop vetching over it. No affiliate links, nothing crazy like that. But the reason why you want to get in right now is there's the pricing is super simple. You got a free trial. It's going to let you make 10 newsletters. If you take those 10 newsletters and you do it correctly, you can make sure you have enough to cover this bad boy. Because right now it's $100 a year, period. All right. I forgot what that comes out to a month, but it's stupid. It's less than $10. I had the number in my head. I totally forgot what it is. But trust me, fam, you can probably through your email, if you're doing the dang thing right, in those 10 free emails, you can make sure you got yourself in position to cover this. Because trust me, when they convert it to a paid thing, it's going to be a lot more. Okay. So now this is one of those joints where you want to get in and be like, yo, I'm grandfathered in on the OG plan. And so, yo, I definitely want to have Matt come through and holler at us because they got other cool tools that they're working on. But this is the Wordsmith app. It's from ConvertKit. And imagine taking the thought process out of generating your emails. Legit, I gave it the video. It did the work. You hit a button that says, send this draft to ConvertKit. I went in there. I changed like 6 words. 6. And I pressed sent. Sent. And then that way Liz won't get at me for not doing my email. That's all. Super simple. All right, Lou, what you got for your
That's really exciting for me because like I have always I had a newsletter for a little bit and then I didn't do it. And now this like I see this and I'm like, yes, give it to me now. Give it like I'm gonna buy this immediately and start now. I'm gonna have a newsletter, sign up for my newsletter. Like it's happening, but it's like it gives you this workflow, right? Like if you know you need to make the video that it's going to speak to this newsletter, then you can get that, you can craft the story that way.
I'm going to title your newsletter, Hot Girl, Hot Shit Gazette.
Welcome.
See, we'll talk about the inside jokes later. Come on. Let's go.
Because it's a thing. Okay, so since we're talking about Taylor, I'm going to share my OBSBot Tail Air.
Oh, you stupid.
I mean, I could have said like my Eras Tour t-shirt. I also do love that. But this is the OBSBot Tail Air that they sent me because Doc was like, y'all need to give this girl this camera because she needs it for this like specific use case. When I live stream, I can't sit still. So there's live streams like what we're doing, typically like we'll do a show. You're sitting there, you're talking, it's a show. I do a legit off the wall live stream. Like anything can happen. Like I could be doing dishes or we could be making content. We could anything can happen. Right. So to have a camera that can be NDI. So this one's NDI, it's PTZ. So like it can track, it can do all sorts of stuff. Right. Like, but it is wireless. It connects to Ecamm through NDI. And I can put this in the other room. And I did that in the live stream today. We started here at the desk. And then I was like, cool, I'm going to go to the other room. We're going to do this other thing. And then we were able to do that. I plugged in a microphone into here and we did a little behind the scenes. So with my dream on my live streams is to be able to basically just have you guys in the studio with me. So it's like, all right, we're going to film this thing today. Great. Let's go over there. Let's film this thing. Let me show you how I film this thing. Now I'm going to show you how to edit this thing. And then you got to see the whole process. And then hopefully that motivates you to actually make some videos because you saw that within this time span, I made a video and you probably could have done also the same thing while you were watching. But this thing, killer.
That's the key.
Killer.
Show, you know what? We used to say it in the street, you got to show and prove. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, you got to get out there. So I can tell you hands down, Tail Layer is one of my favorite cameras. It is currently my overhead camera. I have another one back there that I take with me on the road somewhere whenever I go into travels. It's glorious. It can record by itself. It don't even have to be connected to your computer. You can slap an SD card in it. You can go outside and you can go out and post it up at the beach and just take pictures of yourself surfing or doing whatever you do at the beach.
And it's really great animal tracking too.
Yes, it has good animal. So it tracks Will. I got it.
But if you talk a lot with your hands, you just be aware that it's going to zoom in on you.
You triggered the AI, what do you call that? Hand gestures. I had to turn it off because I'll be confusing it. You'll be getting mad at me. It's like, Doc, stop that mess. Yeah, definitely. I Was by Tail Layer is legit. Big ups to Stefan and the crew over there, my homies at I Was by. So
yeah, right, I love it. It's really fantastic. And the quality is really good too. So like, I know this is something that Doc has been preaching. If somebody's just getting started with their studio, like you do not have to go get what we were recommending a couple years ago. Right? Like you can prioritize differently because things that are on the market, like cameras like this that are on the market, like instead of getting the really fancy camera and the really cheap microphone, switch it around, get a good camera and get a really good microphone.
Ooh,
call it a day.
I can't wait. It's going to be about 8 episodes from now, maybe 9, when I get to show out this brand new microphone. Y'all gonna be like, son. And you know why I like this new microphone? Because Lou and I had say-so in how they built that joint. Ow! We gonna talk about mic drop? We gonna be like, yo, we had involvement in the design and build of this joint, even if it was nothing other than move this here, make this, and make it sound like Taylor Swift. That's what Lou really told the engineer. I ain't lying. She said that to the engineer. I'm joking.
I got a whole other story about that, but that's for another time. That was for another. I just wanted to make a piece of content. I wasn't really like fanning out that hard. I just like, oh, this is not the place. We are not interested in this content.
Oh God,
but
so good
with Taylor Swift, right? With what we were talking about, with emotional connections, with insider jokes, with Easter eggs, like something that Taylor Swift, whether she did it, she crafted it, or it just built out naturally, is that her fan base is so ravenous that a glitch will happen on a screen at a concert and they'll be like, that means something. And I was like, I think that just means the venue's had a glitch on like, live happens. And they're like, no, this means that Reputation Taylor's version is coming out and we got to be ready. Like,
dude, that is your sister. That is
it is wild. Right, she sent me this and I was like, girl, no.
That is Des. Des be reading all kind of craziness into it, the Swiftiverse. Like, no, because this going to happen, then this going to happen, then her birthday is this day. And then if you take that, divide it by 2, carry the 1. And I'm like, Des, relax. But then it'd be right. And then it was like, oh, maybe.
Yeah, and that's
the part that adds the mystique though, right? Because the possibility is there.
And that they're so interested in it. It's the same as like MCU fans, right? Like we're looking at it and it's like, we saw this little thing and then what does this mean? And who does this? And oh my gosh, like, can you believe that they did this? Because it's fun as a community to nerd out about something. So in your crafting of your brands and your content and your things, like as you build your community, like to have those little things that it's like, we all get excited about it. Right. So when I have little emojis of Gizmo and Zilla, and when they show up, because you can't control cats, when they show up in the live stream, people who are members, they got those emojis and they have Gizmo and Zilla little buttons that they can pop in, right? It's something that together we can all be like, oh, we see them, we know them, right? Little things like that is something that you can try to execute in your communities.
Straight up. I mean, the brilliance of making someone sit in a freaking theater for an extra 7 minutes to catch what we used to think was the blooper or the little hidden film at the end, but what they turned out to be was Easter eggs for something else in the universe. Or they're a combination of both, right? I don't even remember the first movie that I ever went to. Maybe it was like a Mel Brooks joint where they had all the little jokes and stuff at the end, the parts that they cut out, like the cutting room clips they were leaving in the trailer, so you were sitting there. Or Ferris at the end. You still here? Like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's the one that most younger people know. Well, by younger people, I mean my 40s. But yeah, man, like those are brilliant. And you said, like, what can we learn from that? I don't know who I learned it from. Again, I don't even know if I did it on intention. But my crew definitely all says embiggen now. My crew
I said it today.
does not utter the word overwhelmed when it's not something that's truly overwhelming, right? There is 103 degrees in Southeast Japan today. They're not used to that. That's overwhelming. That's going to affect the sushi. That's going to affect business. It's going to affect people's lives. Real. I don't understand how to use this software. You kind of belittling people that have real struggles when you use that terminology, the way people have over masterminded that terminology. So I just approach it differently. Be like, this is a lot, but I love learning new stuff. Now it ain't scary, right? And so you and I talked about this ahead, and I think this is brilliant, but there was a remastering even of, again, not even to be about the politics itself. Let's talk about the mastery. They're moving to the word weird because weird is less scary than anarchist or civil war or fascist or whatever kind of other negative terminologies they can come up with. Turning it to weird almost makes it cute and unthreatening. And that's brilliant. That is a combination of both story crafting. And now notice everyone is going to be using that word. People who are on that side will be using that word as well because it softens the quote unquote scariness. It's like when your doctor used to like tell you to look at something or like smack your leg when they stab you so you don't feel it. You know, that kind of things. They distract the little kid or like, here, look at this lollipop. Oh, lollipop. Ah. It's like, when are you going to get the needle? I already gave you the needle. What? Really? That's all it really is, right? So I think it's brilliant. I love how, like, you know, like you said, as MCU people, we got our own little squads. We even got various squads for people who are in it. Like, I'm a Deadpool person all day for sure. You know, very much a Spider-Man, but he has an identity crisis with Marvel and Sony. So I'm Star Wars all day. I am definitely dark side when it comes to the Star Wars camps. Like, we even build separate camps inside. So you're going to be like oh my God, I'm trying to remember. 1984, that's not the album. What was their first album? The one with the numbers?
Oh, 1985. It wasn't her first one, but it was the first pop one.
Yeah, so I'm saying, so you're pre-1985 Swiftie or you're post-1985 Swiftie. Everybody that's pre-1985, y'all, I was close. Y'all are like on a different level. Y'all on a different level. It's like, nah, man, we been here. Right? Y'all new kids, like, we love y'all. Y'all Swifties, it's cool, you know, little thing, but yo, we been here. So
right.
It's the same
and
thing.
Then there's even the new people who just jumped on because of Eras Tour, because it was all over social media.
Correct.
Right. And so, but the thing is with the culture of Swiftie fandom is that it is all welcoming is the idea. Now, like the bigger things get, the crazier things get, but like at its core was that we're all accepting. It's like, you just learned about Taylor Swift. Come on, let me talk to you about it. Right?
You're BTE, before Eras Tour.
Before Eras Tour, right? Are you BTE?
BET, don't do that one. That'll get y'all in trouble.
No, that one's taken. It's already it's already taken. And then there's also like another thing that she does is exclusive content that people get ravenous over. And it's like, it's merch. It's like the special, extra special edition of this record or that record. And they just people just want the thing that they feel is the special thing because they want a little piece of it. Right. So I was actually thinking today about merch, right? I was like, I love my dog pop. And I'm like telling people about my dog pop. I'm like, you got to get a dog pop. You need to order it. Like, look, it's going to be so cute. You got to get it. And then I'm looking at my merch and I'm like, nobody wants to buy my stuff. When I'm here, I'm just like, I want to buy everybody a dog pop. So it's easy when you're looking at yourself to think nobody wants to get your thing, but they do.
So
if you give them
just made me
something
think of
to
something.
want. Oh, yeah, tell me.
If the dog pop situation works out as well as I want it to, one of the things that I want to offer is I want to offer a Venta Black version. So Venta Black is black, like it doesn't reflect. So on camera, this will look like a dead space, but it will be sick. Imagine a matte black that's so almost how how the Shure is in the microphone. How it like this one's a little shiny, but like it's darker than that. Like it's super dark.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I don't know if they could pull it off. Something that I'm going to speak to my people about. But even if they can get to that, even if I can get like black 3.0, or there's a couple of different terminologies for like that blacker than black. Yeah, like I want to get Bernie Mac black. Sorry, Bernie, love you. That dude was crispy, bro.
Yeah, but that's cool. Like,
yeah, because that's what you mean. Like, come up with something exclusive, right? And then be like, yo, maybe the Venta Black's only for the, the first people that came through, or, like people that's been down with the squad for, the 4 or 5 years type of situation, right? Maybe you get it as you get an anniversary, right? So I just had it actually. I just had like my 4-year anniversary, right? So of doing it like consistently every weekend, no miss, right? Every Tuesday, Saturday, no miss. When I can't do it, somebody fill in kind of joint. Rarely, if ever I'm not there, Tuesday was a rarity. Katie messed up my thing, but hey, it happens. But for the most part, I try to be where I'm supposed to be, right? So imagine if on June 6, 2025, I just released, that special edition, and like anybody that's seen more than 100 episodes pop in. You know what I mean? I stopped counting. I've been past 100 episodes a long time ago. I stopped counting. I got to go check and see like how many episodes there is, because it's a stupid amount. Or maybe I'll hit 500.
Yeah. But like whatever that milestone is, like let people celebrate with you.
Yeah.
And have like, because they're growing with you. So correct. The utilizing and embracing and nurturing the community through merch, through insider jokes, through mythology, right? Like it's a really beautiful thing that you like. Bayhive is just gorgeous. K-Hive, utilizing a pop culture name, then bringing it to this political campaign.
What was dope is they didn't do it. Had they done it, they might have got slapped. They were smart enough, and this takes a little bit of guts. Okay, I'm not saying you can't craft it yourself, but it is so much better when they craft it by themselves. Okay? Mm-hmm. The fact that they were smart enough, or there's people on the team smart enough to be like, let's leave it be and see where it goes. So first it was Brat, and then the Freedom commercial came out, and they're like, oh, Beyonce is down. Yo, we need to rev up a K-Hive to keep this momentum going. So TikTok came up with that joint, and it's brilliant. It is brilliant. I would like to find the first person who came up with it and give them some trophies, because that's brilliant. They're going to Pulitzer Prize winning for coming up with a meme.
Yeah, I mean, so much to learn from these artists that are out there, from campaigns, from marketing, So I really would love to hear in the community, in the chat, or in the comments, whatever inspirations that you maybe have gleaned from people you admire or don't admire, because there's stuff to get from things you don't admire as well. Like there's content stuff to learn from like the MCU, which is not like a singular artist, but it is an ecosystem. It is.
I like when you said singular, like in singularity. Mm. Sorry, that was super nerdy. I got a dumb question for you, Lou.
Okay.
Are Aubrey and Kendrick having Zoom calls to plan this joint out?
I'm not sure.
I have my conspiracy theories.
I feel like maybe marketing teams. I don't know if those two are on the call.
Oh, that would be even more brilliant if the marketing teams fanned this joint, or better yet, Spotify called them up. It's like, yo, man, we're flailing because we got in trouble for not paying artists. So can you guys help? You guys are the two biggest artists. What if you guys started a fight and the marketing people went, bet?
Or go. Somebody from Spotify said, I heard so-and-so said this. Just some petty girl, right? You know, just like, so what I heard.
You heard it first here on Creators Unstuck, people. Creators Uncovered. Dun, dun, dun.
That's our true crime. Our true crime podcast will be Creators Uncovered, where we just find conspiracy.
We're going to have Creators Uncovered True Rhyme podcast. Is Kendrick and Drake fight real or marketing? Dun, dun, dun.
Both. And I could see if it was maybe a little real at first, and then it was like there's something here. Like it just turned into one shit talk session, and then it was like, it just escalated. It's like, that could be a hit, and it's like, let's do it.
Brilliant. And and the thing that makes it so crazy is the real story definitely leaves space for this to happen, right? So for those who are not uninitiated, Drake put Kendrick on his tour, and they were like good friends in the whole 9 yards. But Kendrick told everybody from the gate, and this is what I mean about setting your attention. This is no different than sides. Set your attention, tell everybody what your intention is, and do something every day to further that intention, right? I used to have a t-shirt in my merch shop called Intent and Purpose, because I think so many creators start and their intention is, I'm going to do this as a side hustle. Nope, not going to work. Guarantee almost fail. Very rarely do they win. Or I'm going to do this, I just want to make a bunch of money. Very rarely does that work either, right? But if you have a real deal intention and you work every day on this on purpose to make sure that you get where you're going, it's going to work. And Kendrick said, I want to be number one. He said that from the very beginning that he came out. And then Drake was like, all right, you cute little boy, come on this little tour. And then Kendrick started heating and got better. And then Drake was like, oh, I feel like he coming for me. He's like, yeah, I'm coming for you. I told you from the beginning I'm coming for you. You know what I'm saying? That is legit like the fish bringing the shark on tour and be like, all right, cool, I got you. And you say you're going to eat me when you grow up? All right, whatever. So I went from baby shark to a real shark. And it's like, hey, I'm about to eat you. And you're like, but wait, I brought you on tour. I'm still a shark. It's like that joke about the snake. You knew it was a snake when you picked it up or whatever. It's exactly like that. He told you he wanted to be the best. So whether that's fake or true or whatever, there's still something to learn in that. And that is, you really do have to set that intention and to do what the comedians call callback. Did you see that, Will? I did a callback. I told y'all in the beginning, you have got to ask yourself, what happens if this works? And plan accordingly, build accordingly, think accordingly.
I like to always say, when this works.
Straight up. Bingo.
Like,
I got to get a new one. I'm tired of bingo. I'm over bingo. Let me get a new one. Bingo, bango, pickle, mango. He's stupid.
You're like Scrabble, wabble, dibble, dabble.
Skivity toilet. There you go. What the hell? I can't believe I said that on the podcast.
It's like we have an intention. It's come up a couple times. We want Seth on this show. We want Seth Godin on the show. Yes. And when Seth Godin's on the show, y'all are going to know that this has been the
I'm going to pull the highlight reel of every show where we said that. It is our intention to eventually have the GOAT himself on the show. The greatest of all time. I said, man, whoever came up with that acronym is also brilliant. I always think about that. Yeah. That's the best. I thought it was Jay-Z, but I'm sure it came up prior to Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he just put it in a song.
First name ever, last name greatest.
even him, right? Like with this, right? Like,
yeah,
they creating community, like creating things that people can latch onto. It's like inside jokes. Like if you get, it's the if you know factor.
Yes. That's the whole gang sign started that mess, like it was a little secret handshake or the speakeasy. Like, man, I wonder what's going to be the podcast equivalent of a speakeasy.
The membership?
How about a podcast that's so dope, but you can only find it if you was invited?
Let's work on that. I think there's something there. It has to be
so high value that people are dying to get in. And you only get in when you get in.
You just wait. Listen, this little seed's been planted. It's going to happen.
Church.
And on that note, I'm Mary Lou Mandel. You can find me all over the internet at Mary Lou Mandel. And wherever this super secret speakeasy podcast is, you probably find me there too.
There it is. And I am Doc Rock. And, you can find me all over the internet at DOCROCK, just about every place. And you know what it is? It is time now when we say, see you. Get it? Creators Unstuck. He's so dumb.
This is the moment we waited for. Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year. Shoot 'em my shot, boy, I'm long range. Me and the team on the same thing. Stay down, never switched